Good morning, everyone. We're so happy to see you today. Thank you for joining us, and we're so happy to introduce our special guest, Brian Bland. Please take a moment and share this out to your fellow Sasquatch hunters, to your fellow friends who want to hear all about the stories of the people in the forest. It's going to be a great show, and it's going to be very interesting to hear my fellow Canadian, and we're all wearing our Canadian. What did you call them, Brian? Our Canadian evening jackets.
Sports jackets, yeah.
Yeah. So come on in. Tell us where you're from. Share it out. Say hi to us on YouTube. We're so excited to be here, and we're just wanting to make sure we're on. And I'm not seeing us live yet.
I see us. We're on.
Oh, we're live. So please come in and say hi to everyone. Let us know you're here. Tell us where you're from. Brian is from BC, Canada, and he has had. Well, I first heard about Brian from the show from Jim Perry's Euphonet. And he was taking Jim off into the woods of BC to meet his Sasquatch family. And I thought he was a very interesting person, and he had a lot to say. So we invited him on about a year and a half ago or so. And we've just come back to invite him again because, he always has wonderful things to share. So, hey, Bex, have you, Bex, no, have you got Sasquatch in New Hampshire?
Oh, absolutely. I have no doubt that Sasquatch is here. Absolutely. We have the White Mountain National Forest, so there's definitely a lot going on there. And yeah.
Yeah, and I know we have sightings in Northern Ontario, but I just recently was looking. There's a web page you can go to, and it's about all the sightings of Sasquatch, and some of them are in Canada. And I just realized that we have some just north of where I live. So that's really interesting too.
That is.
So Brian, tell us a little bit how you found that you were connected to the Sasquatch and how this came about.
Well, I think people who have a connection with Sasquatch, quite often they have a fascination with them all their lives. I found that that's a very common thread. But how I was introduced to them as I was walking my dogs on the dikes in my hometown. The waterway there, and the mountains were off to my right. I'm just walking along, and all of a sudden I got like a mind speak or a really strong thought placement. Go to the mountains. So
very cool.
Everything started connecting from there. I started connecting with people who could introduce me to Sasquatch, like Randy Brisson out here in BC, who's been in my area for 50 years. So I was lucky to meet up with him, and then it just snowballed. I just kept meeting all these people, and it's all about connections, and it's still today. So.
Yeah, some people were wondering too. Thank you. And I know Teresa invited you on because she just loves you. And she was sad that she couldn't join us today, but she's just got some personal stuff she had to take care of. And Teresa Clan is here from Victoria, BC. So just across the water. And she's a friend that went to Shasta with me. And I don't know if she was there that day that we heard Sasquatch, but Melinda and I both heard Sasquatch that day. So we thought of you, Brian, when we were up on Mount Shasta. I had gone there especially hoping to have an encounter. But
what did you hear?
It was kind of a yell, howl, kind of a noise. And I know the person we were with, we said, Melinda and I both stopped and said, what was that? And she and I both said, do you think that was Sasquatch? And the person we said, oh, that was just a dog, but it didn't sound like a dog. It was something that I've never heard before. Howl, kind of yell. It was interesting because all the time we were up about 7,000 feet. And all the time we were up in the woods up there, we felt like we were being watched. You know what I mean? We weren't, so I'm sure they were around. And I know lots of people have had lots of encounters with them up there. So I'm a believer. I'm a believer. And wait until you see Brian's pictures because Brian has lots of pictures where they show up. It's quite interesting. So Brian, you've gone beyond a little bit of just sightings, and you're into communicating with them and finding what they leave for you, or do they leave for everybody and it's just your eyes see them?
Well, I communicate with them telepathically and like through energy. You know, like energy is like the universal language, I think. So I got a good connection with them through that. But are you talking about the glyphs? The glyphs is like a written communication that they do on the forest floor or off in the bush or whatever. And yeah, it is a communication, and it's telepathic in nature too, because I communicate with them. I can understand what they're saying, but that meaning is not going to be for everybody. It is being arranged between myself and them. And I've proven that, because I remember one time there was a very popular glyph that I was seeing all the time, but for some reason I didn't put together what it meant. And then I thought, well, that means man Sasquatch connected. And the very next day I went out there and I saw the glyph, and you know, and it was completely in context to the message. Like obviously, and then I look back on stuff like 5-6 years earlier that had the same message that was obvious to me, that they knew 100%. I'm not explaining it that well, but they knew 5 or 6 years before I did that I was already going to come to that understanding. And that's their mastery of time or whatever it is. You know.
And they're very patient with us. Okay. Yeah. Now, have you actually seen them? I know you have evidence of them being around you. Have you actually seen them, and have you seen them lately? Because I know you had a big Sasquatch camp out this fall, was it? Or like sort of a...
Well, it wasn't that big, and you didn't show up either.
I was, I couldn't fly. Nobody was, I wasn't allowed.
But September, I've got another one, so I'm expecting you to be there. But so what was your question again?
I said, have you actually seen them?
Oh yeah.
Send them out to Tofino, because I'm going to Tofino this summer. So send them. They're out there too, I think.
I've seen them probably a dozen, maybe 10 times. But the last time I seen them was like about a month ago. Yeah. And one walked right across my path, and then it started leaving me glyphs and hit me up with this big time energy, and just like downloads of it. Was just crazy. It was just like really, really special.
Can you describe what they look like, or this one that crossed your path? I know it would have been just a glimpse, and of course you didn't have your camera.
You know, you look at the Patterson film or whatever, or the big hairy man or whatever. I mean, that's basically what they look like.
Okay.
Some of them look way more human than others. Some of the more evolved ones, or some of the ancient ones, or some of them are more evolved. And I mean, like RE, for instance. I mean, like, well, as we're going to see in a minute, he can put his image onto a boulder. That's pretty evolved being.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. Now, is it true that they can morph into basically any shape in nature? That they can, kind of camouflage themselves so that you can only see them, when they want you to?
I've seen them in about 12 different states, like shadow people kind of thing, predator kind of thing, like orbs, just dark figure just before it's totally, just the one little step just before it's totally, totally clear, or whatever, and what else? Just, I mean, there's so many different. The predator one was interesting, because I was sitting around on the beach and I could see them walking beside me, and like that shimmery, watery kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
So they can.
So they're just out of phase in the dimension, or just between the dimensions, sort of, where they're in that phase shift.
The black one, the black shape I was talking about, is just before it becomes fully materialized. It's just that one step, because when I saw RE in that state, I could see all his bulk and features, everything. But it was just one little step from being fully materialized. So there's, I think I've come up with maybe a dozen different ways that I've seen them personally.
Some people say they walk out of trees, or they look like trees, or they walk out of trees, or they fuse with trees. Have you heard that too? Yeah. They fuse with trees, and then they sort of just walk out of trees. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. They use trees like portals or something. I don't know how they describe what I've seen. So the message from the Sasquatch to us, what do you think is their overlying message to us? And why do they not show up in Toronto or in Ottawa? Like,
well, I've seen them in Vancouver. My last meeting was in Vancouver. Yeah.
Like downtown?
Well, no.
Okay, just wondering. Yeah.
No, there's a big park in Vancouver that's like almost like a miniature version of my area. But yeah, I saw them in there because somebody told me that they were hanging around in there, so I went there.
In Stanley Park?
No, but they're probably in there too.
Oh, okay.
To tell you the truth. No, this is another park, but it's maybe as big as Stanley Park. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, they're all over the place.
Oh, cool. Have they showed up at your house?
Yes.
Tell us about that, because that's an interesting story.
Well, one time they left a lot of glyphs out by my car and whatever at my house. Some out in my backyard. They used to leave them out by my front door, and I'm talking about like not random sticks. Like some people have, and I don't want to be dismissive, but I've seen some people send me pictures of glyphs, and it just, to me, sometimes it looks like a bunch of sticks. These are like obvious. Like there's no way they're random. They're just like this. Well, I mean, we'll see a couple pictures in a bit, and that'll explain it. But yeah, so they've left them outside of my house, like friendship welcome from the clan of RE glyphs. They've left them in my backyard. When my mother died, they left me a glyph on my car. They were right at that moment, and then the next day they had an arrow pointing right to the woods. It was like really sentimental. They were supporting me. And then one appeared in my room out of a cloud of smoke.
Wow.
I was just laying in bed, and all of a sudden a wispy cloud of smoke filled up the air, and then excuse me, the image of a Sasquatch became really, really clear in the mist. And then I saw the big shoulders and the head. It looked like life size. Like RE, and then he just disappeared. He just looked at me, and then he just dissipated.
Wow.
And no fear or whatever. It just felt like, oh, okay, he's watching out for me. Like I got no fear with him, right? So, which is important. If you want to interact with them, fear is holding a lot of people back.
Yeah. Some people say they've seen Sasquatch all in a white form, and I know when we talk, I've listened to videos from ESETI. They've seen them in all different forms, and is that yours, or do you think there's different tribes or different groups of family groups of Sasquatch all over, and they have their own sort of distinctiveness, just like we would,
Are you talking about hair color?
Their culture, yeah, like Sasquatch people. Are they different? Almost ethnicities of Sasquatch, or is that our human like take on them?
Right.
Well, there's some that are more evolved than others. Like I said, the ancient one, but I'm not sure if this is the question you're referring to, but they've got red hair, white hair, brown hair, black hair, blonde hair. They come in all the different kind of shades of hair that we have. Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah. And some people say some of them are more aggressive than others. Some are quieter. Some are seem threatening. Some don't. Yeah.
But I think it's how people interact with them too.
Okay.
I think even in an aggressive area, because they're used to interacting with people aggressively, because that's how the interaction goes there. I think if somebody came in there and put out, approach them with love and from the heart and with respect or whatever, I think that they would acknowledge that to some degree at least. And the other thing is that if you're connected to a clan of Sasquatch like I am with these guys up here, they will know you everywhere you go. They may not necessarily greet you like boisterously or whatever, but I felt the energy greetings all over the place. So they will respect you at least.
So interacting with the Sasquatch changes your frequency, sort of?
Well, I mean, I feel all kinds of things changing. I mean, I've had downloads coming in through the top of my head, like when I'm walking, just crazy stuff. So yeah, they're changing me for sure. It feels like and in the last 3 months, it's been like really accelerated.
Very cool. So let's look at some of your pictures. Let's look at some of your pictures here.
As you're getting in, though, the acceleration thing is one thing I've found, and this has happened maybe a dozen times now. Every time I have like a lull in activity or something, and early on, you know, I used to think, oh, geez, don't they like me anymore? Like everybody goes through that when there's nothing happening. My first year, whatever you get. But I found this in the stimulation period, because once the activity starts again, for some reason, your knowing is way, way bigger. Like in this last time when I had that sighting 3 months ago, it's just like my whole head just like, it was a real big one. Upgrade or something, I guess.
Teresa was wondering where they originated from. Are they from Earth? Have they always been here, or did they come from the sky, like star people?
That's a good question.
Well,
what do you think?
Well, I mean, the female DNA, the mitochondrial, I think, is that female DNA, is all human, but the male comes from an unknown origin. So that to me maybe says off planet, or you know, from the sky, as you said.
So
but I think they're an older race than people are, and they've been through history all the way through the Bible and all kinds of books, right?
Well, I know they're in ancient, like Tibet. They find them. They call them different things. They call them Yeti, and they see them even in Australia. I think there are, and So I wonder
they're
if they
mastered being interdimensional and can move through dimensions very easily.
Yeah, they walk through portals apparently.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, that's what I was going to ask. Is like, do you find that Ari and Ari's family are with you everywhere you go? Like, are they the ones that keep showing up everywhere, or do you have others that come to you as well?
I think, well, they can go anywhere. So I think they can be with me anywhere I go. But I do also think when I'm in other areas that I get greeted energetically by clients, because you can tell their energy is like their personality. You can feel a personality, tell who the individual is just by their energy. So, yeah, I mean, they go with their people like as well, but you can also interact with other ones.
So they kind of walk through the doorways. They're interdimensional almost. So they come into our world, but then they go back into theirs. Sort of. That's why they can sort of disappear and they seen. Yeah. Okay. So Cindy is saying this is fascinating. I've always loved the idea of them, and I've always prayed that they would never be captured. Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons they can't be captured, because they can just walk in back to their own doorway, back to their own dimension.
Well, they're beyond the technology we have, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my God, I mean, sure. If they know what's going to happen 5 years before it happens, I mean, you know, and they've proven that to me. I mean, no question, over and over and over again.
Do they ever give you messages about the future, like what's coming for humanity?
I'm sorry, Bex?
Do they ever give you messages about the future, like what's coming for humanity?
No, but they tell me why they're here, and that is to wake humanity up to our true nature. Because because the way the world is today, it's all about division. And I'm not going to get into all that craziness or whatever, but let's face it, it's all about division, right? And the Sasquatch say we're all connected. Division's a lie. So that's why we're fighting and whatever, because we think we're not connected, but we are. We're all the same. So they're trying to reintroduce us to that knowing and that love vibration, the fifth dimension or whatever that I was in when I got that love zap thing. There's no judgment. There's no. It's just like you just kind of have to experience it. It's like there's no judgment. It's all love. You're connected. You have a big knowing, but you don't really have any question. It's like because you have the knowing. It's like it's weird. It's just like you're there and you're connected to it, but it's not like you have a bunch of questions. It's just you're just there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like just being and accepting.
It's like you know everything, but you're not interested because it's there. I don't know.
And I think that's where we're, that's absolutely where we're supposed to be. That's the space of, we're not chasing anything. We're not trying to obtain anything. We already have it all. It's all there in us at that one point in time when we finally reach it. So you being gifted with that is amazing.
Yeah. Well, once I had that, then everything changed.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. You can't go back now.
Yeah. You lose interest in the rat race, right? In the hamster wheel of life. Yeah. That's very cool. That's a gift.
Yeah.
An amazing
And that
gift.
knowing when you're there is more real than like 3D or whatever. It's like, it's like all heartfelt, and it's just like, it's just who we really are. We're just not aware of it.
Yeah.
But hopefully we will be.
Teresa Clan says she's in the 87th percentile of Neanderthal DNA. So does that suggest a physical closeness? So she's wondering if they're related to Neanderthals more than they are to humans, because we have pictures of Neanderthals and they sort of look like Sasquatch. They have the heavy brow ridge and they're hairy. And so she's wondering if she's more physically. I think, Teresa, it has to do with our Andromeda DNA, and that's why we're closer to
I think it's more human with that, the unknown male part.
Yeah.
I don't see the Neanderthal connection, but
Yeah. Well, that's where so everybody's loving your Sasquatch, and I'm glad we're all here. Melinda says, who doesn't love Sasquatch? So yeah, she's greetings to all interdimensional beings. Yeah, we call them all in. I don't think they need to actually watch us on Facebook or on YouTube. They can just be here if we call them in. So let's show them some pictures.
Yeah.
Let's share some pictures now. I'm going to just bear with me because I'm not super sweet at this like other things. I'm going to do this. I'm going to start and then I'm going to share this. And we're going to start with this one. Can everybody see that? Everybody seeing that one?
okay. Well, I don't know if Beck saw it right away, and you see it now, right, Rhonda? The entire top.
Oh yeah. Now I see it. Now I see it right away.
Yeah.
The entire top of that rock is my clan leader's face. He actually superimposed his image on that rock.
If you guys make it bigger in your screen, you'll probably be able to see it better. But yeah, it's just.
Well, it's so obvious. It
is.
Yeah.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
I mean,
I'm going to post these in the comments later so you can see them for yourselves.
So if you see it, say yes in the comments.
Yeah, if you can see the face, there's the eyes, and there's the nose, the little white band, and there's the mouth right on the top.
It's like a perfect face, and it's Ari's face. I know it's my clan leader's face.
Right there's the mouth.
Some random face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So anyway, but hang on a minute, because I wanted to get into a little story about that. So
yeah,
that face was there the entire 3 days that my girlfriend and I were camped there. When I went back the next time, it's gone. So it only was there for when we were there.
Right.
Oh, very strange.
Cool.
So he put his image there just while he was watching over us. That's exactly where I had my first sighting of Ari too. And what is also interesting is go ahead to a few more pictures and I'll tell you the whole story.
Okay, so
that's Ari there, but
Ari here.
His head. Notice the nose is like Patty's nose. Can you see the big white nose?
Yeah,
right there.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's Patty's nose. The same kind of thing, right? Anyway, go ahead. I want to.
Oh well, here's a glyph. So this is what you. So this explains what glyphs look like.
But let's finish the story and then we'll go back.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah,
sure.
This must be the pork and bean show. I'm up running stuff here. Old habits. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you want to go back to the one?
A different picture.
No, forward.
Oh, forward. Okay.
Forward.
That was a lot of forward.
Oh, that's okay. Forward.
Sorry. Okay. Here's a. Yeah. Oh, those. Okay. Which ones? Oh, you want to see the one where? Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Back here. Oh, there. Okay.
No,
so
back.
Here.
No. The light? Is it the one with the light? That one?
No.
No. Going backwards.
That one?
No.
Oh man.
No. Back.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Back.
That one.
One more.
That one.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry for
That's okay.
Okay. So anyway, like I said, that rock was there, face was there the entire 3 days we were there. Also, while we were there, like the Sasquatch and the ravens have a very, very special connection. And, you know, they can shapeshift into different animals and impersonate them. And I've heard them like imitating owls and all kinds of things. But in any event, we had a family of ravens that were with us the entire 3 days we were there watching us.
Oh, yeah.
And my girlfriend and I had just put those beach blankets down on a little sand by the river, right? And this is right beside where Ari's Rock is too. This is all in the same area, that face. So we're watching the raven just across the river, and he comes and he flies right over top of our heads, like directly over top of our heads. And then we looked down and we saw that welcome friendship X was left on our blanket.
Cool.
Now, it's all pretty obvious that it wasn't there when we put them down just a few minutes prior, right? That's impossible, right?
Yeah, because it's on top of it.
Yeah, because it's on top of mine. So as the raven flew over, they left us the friendship welcome X. That's what that means to me. And so then I went back to the fire because I was pulled back to the fire, and I checked the stack of firewood, and right by that firewood was a raven feather that he had gifted us just after he flew over. So yeah, and Sue took about 3 pictures of it, and I took about 2. And later on in the evening, she said, "Let's look at those pictures." So she pulled her camera up, and all 3 pictures of the raven feather were gone by the fire, by the firewood. And the 2 on my camera were gone as well. Every other picture was on there. And maybe they're sensitive in the picture, I'm not sure. But they've done that a lot where they've removed picture. So go to the next one.
Okay, so the next one here, there's the
So
raven
there is
feather.
the raven feather. You know, that wasn't the original picture though by the firewood, and then there's a heart rock that we found. So
You and Melinda find heart rocks. Okay, so this is a picture. Now, did you see this, or was this a picture taken? Did you see this ray of light come down to you?
Funny. No, I didn't see it, but it's funny because my friend said, my friend Randy Brisson, like, this is a special place. He's only taken a few people here. And he said, I didn't know what he was talking about at the time, but he said, pretty soon you're going to feel like Bruce Lee.
Wow.
And I had been like, I had worked like a 12-hour shift, hadn't eaten anything, plus a 3-hour hike to get there. But I wanted to go because it was just, when I can get together with Randy, hit and miss. So I said, screw the sleep, I'm going. But I was fatigued and hadn't eaten or anything. And so I'm sitting there, and I guess this beam came down. I didn't see it, but after the fact, as we're walking along, Randy showed me the picture of this beam. And as soon as I saw it, I started getting this scan kind of thing. And it felt like it went from my feet all the way up to my upper torso, and it seemed to energize me. And it's a pretty steep climb coming back out of this area. And usually even when I'm like at the top of my game, it's still a struggle. But I ran up it. And at one point I was running past my friend going backwards. It energized me so much. It was like incredible.
Wow, I could use one of those right now.
Yeah, me too.
So Nestor, who is in Rog Al Ghul, there is a remote viewer who said Bigfoot is like downloaded into this dimension. Wonder if it's the same for Sasquatch. I thought Sasquatch and Bigfoot, are the same thing.
Sasquatch are the same thing.
It's just they don't. It's just more polite to call them Sasquatch.
Well,
right?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Or do they care?
It's a pet peeve. I don't really think they're evolved beings. I don't think they really care.
Okay. Yeah.
But I call them Sasquatch because I don't like to name the other name.
Okay.
It's just personal.
Wow. So here's this picture, and I really think
I love that one.
Really cool. Yeah.
Well, this is a really, really. That's Ari again. Like I'm telling you, he's a powerful being. That's his face again.
Yeah.
And he just I didn't see it when I took the picture. Generally, when I take these pictures, they show up. I don't see them when I'm taking them. I just take a picture. Oh, look at that.
So intuitive photography, they call that.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
And
I believe that because So
they're working with me. They're working with me to show people these things.
They give you a feeling. Yeah, you should take a picture of that. Yeah. Now this is an interesting picture. This is almost like the doorway between dimensions. The swirling of the trees. That's really, really cool.
Almost looks like fur too.
I had a professional photographer look at that, and they said that the only way that that could turn out like that is if somebody had extremely long hair and it was hanging in front of the lens or whatever. But to me, that's universal energy. That's the energy swirling around the trees or whatever.
Where'd she go? She just disappeared with all the pictures. Yeah, it was very cool. The swirling energy with those trees. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So what were you doing when you took that picture?
I'm sorry?
What were you doing when you took that picture? You just felt guided to take a picture there?
You know, I just go out in the woods all the time, and I'm just taking pictures of everything. Just anything that catches my eye, little flowers, insects, whatever.
That's awesome.
And, and then all this stuff shows up. I've had all kinds of stuff like that show up.
I think it's cool that the different images that you get of Ari are like of light or of a rock or in the trees, or, it's just very cool all the different ways that he shows up and makes sure that he can be seen.
Yeah. I mean, there's one picture where Sue and I are camping out at pretty well the same place where I had my first sighting of him. And took a picture, and we're doing like a ham. We're hamming it up by the fire at night when like making crazy face or whatever, and you can see Ari in the smoke, his image, and he's like photobombing and he's like laughing, and it's just like, oh my god, amazing.
Universal energy just kicked in and kicked me right off that thing. Sorry. Yeah.
You took all the pictures with you. You just left us hanging.
Yeah. Sorry. I teleported for sure, guys. It's going to take me a second to get back into that spot, but I will do my best right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nancy Vernon said, somebody go check her cameras in the woods. She's probably teleported.
I know. I have a trail cam. I'm always hoping. Now, I had something weird show up on my trail cam the other day, but Dave and I are still trying to figure that one out, whether it was the moon or if it was some other object showing up on our trail cam. We're just trying to figure it out still. Right. Don't know what it was. I'm still waiting for Bigfoot to come in. So tell me what kind of food I should leave out for them, Brian. What do they like the best? Teresa told me it was peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I heard peanut butter and banana. Yeah, that's what I heard.
They're people, so they all like different stuff. But one thing they do like, I think they do like peanut butter though, like you said. We've had instances where we left jars of peanut butter out, and we've seen it like the jar lid screwed back on, and every bit of peanut butter is gone. Like you can't see even anything brown in there. It's just like completely cleaned out.
Wow.
Okay, here's another picture that's really interesting. You can see how there's kind of a mist of stuff going on. Like I can see eyes, nose, and mouth here.
That's the tree, though. He's to the left of it.
It's next to the tree.
But he's actually left to the tree. Okay, so he is right in here, in this area where it looks like there's a disturbance of energy. To me, when I look at that.
It almost looks better in the smaller picture. And also, like I'm not one of these people and I'm not criticizing, it's just not my forte so much, but I'm not one of these people who circles pictures and sees a whole bunch of different things in them. They have to, if it's not for me or if it's not obvious, I generally don't see it. But but that one I see it, but I also get the feeling. Like,
And I understand about getting the feeling from pictures, because I remember I was looking at my friend's pictures, and I wish I could.
Sorry, I do understand what people are talking about though, because I mean, I agree. Like some of the pictures are like weird looking, but as far as I'm concerned, these ones are.
If the viewers can take a look at this and circle and maybe expand their view on what this being here, and when you get the close up, I've made my picture really big on my camera when you showed this on your Facebook page, and you could see that it's somebody standing there. It's clear as day. Like you can see it's very interesting.
Well, I can see the entire body. I can see two eyes, a nose, the head, arm, torso, everything. He's just right over my left shoulder, which is right on.
Yeah, it's right there.
He's just standing there. Yeah.
You didn't see anything when you took this picture, obviously. You just
No.
taken a picture of your friend going down the trail, and there he is, sitting there. What? I think that's how there's the picture, sorry. Okay, so there's the picture again, a bigger picture of the mask or the face on there. I'm just trying to get back to where we were. Okay, so tell us about this, because we said we'd come back.
That's a friendship welcome glyph from the clan of RE, because the X means friendship welcome, the A is RE's signature. But this one's done like really, really like with a tender, heartfelt touch. It's like so decorative, look at the bark and the little moss and the leaves and the fern. When I seen this one, I just burst right into tears. I immediately like weeping, like it was so beautifully heartfelt, like it's a personal message, right? Like you have a Sasquatch leave you something like that. I mean, I'm not special or whatever, but that's pretty special.
This also looks a bit like a Sasquatch head behind it, almost,
Right.
like a portrait, sort of.
It does. The bark, the outline, yeah.
Well, the funny thing is that for their glyphs and their pictures and stuff, there can be a bunch of different stuff for different people.
Yeah.
Which is weird to think about, but it's really actually true.
That's very cool.
And it had to be placed, because it couldn't just fall out of the forest like that.
That's my point. That's my point, is that it had to be placed. That cannot be random. And my other point is that it's also not people, because I've seen these things in Washington State, Oregon, British Columbia, and just the circumstances and how they show up and where they are and just everything. It's 100% that they're doing it. There's no question about it.
Very interesting.
Well, you can see that's not random, of course, too.
No. I just like this one too.
Yeah.
This one is definitely place.
Yeah, I don't even know what that one means, to tell you the truth, but it certainly is interesting, isn't it?
It's like a whole family of Aries. The whole family's there with them. The little ones, the big ones.
Nice.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Very nice.
And this one, another beautiful little.
This is an amazing story. This is the one where I told you that they can know what you're going to do like years and years before you do it. Like that fish glyph or whatever. The oval thing is that's, and I know, and once again I have to explain that I know there's other meanings for these, and it's not going to mean what it means for me for other people, but it's personal for me, and that's how it works with me anyway. But that oval glyph is Susan and my connection glyph.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and like in my last sighting, when I was having all that stuff going on, they left me like 50, 60 miles away from my area. They left me 4 of these, plus a bunch of other stuff. I mean, so, it's beyond circumstance. I know, I know what they are. But anyway, so this glyph was the Brian and Susan connection glyph. And it was made by Raja Say, the daughter of RE. I know that because of the little leaf and her decorative feminine touch. She's got her own little way of doing things. And it's very, very feminine and very decorative. And so I know that she made that. But this is the thing. You see the little Y stick that's curving into it?
Yes.
When I first seen that, I didn't know what it meant. Okay. But 5 or 6 years later, when I was looking at the Y stick and I saw it in this place, I said, "Man, Sasquatch connected." The very next day, they started communicating with me through that message, obviously. Then I was making a video, and I went and I was looking for this specific glyph because I was doing a video on Susan and myself and our connection, whatever. So I wanted this one because it's my favorite. And when I looked at it, I said, "Oh my God, look at that Y there. Man, Susan and I are connected. Man, Sasquatch connected. We're connected to them." It's a perfect message, but I didn't realize what the Y meant when I first looked at it. But then when I look back at it, and that's how it works too. That's why I document all these pictures, because so many times I'll look back years later and then with a broader understanding, or I can see what it meant. But that was miraculous. Right?
That's beautiful.
Cindy says,
It does, yeah. And Melinda actually sees a little heart rock next to it. If you see that rock right there.
Yeah,
That one?
it's
perfect.
but believe me, guys, like this is not speculation. This is it's a full-on intense course. Like it's like school or whatever. So I'm not speculating on the gloves, at least for my meaning for them. And
well, you get the confirmation because then once you get the meaning, they start showing up more.
When you get a confirmation for what the meaning is, and that makes perfect sense in conjunction with other gloves, because they can combine 4 or 5 all together. They can have 3 or 4 signatures of the clan members, which is like their personal signature, mixed in with a big message and stuff. So, yeah, it's
so cool.
So I just wanted to get to
this
one. Okay, this one. All the weaving.
No,
there's Eric.
Found way up in the snow.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. We also found a huge trackway that day too, and we were getting all kinds of interaction. But this one is okay. You see the fish cliff there?
Yeah.
Brian and Sue connected to the clan of RE, the A. It's just saying we're connected to him and that clan. That's a beautiful message. And needless to say, there was nobody around for we didn't see another person all day. Well, and you can see that it was obvious.
The snow's on top. Yeah.
I mean, you can see. I mean, with what I'm talking about with the messages, how obvious it is. Brian and Sue from the Fish Cliff connected to the clan of RE.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Right. It's pretty
self-explanatory. And this is interesting because that kind of didn't show up.
Right. That doesn't just happen.
This showed up about a week after I came up with my realization what the Y stick meant. They left me this man Sasquatch all connected, and the single rock is the guy who left it.
Yeah.
That was the individual who left that. So that was a confirmation that my message, one of the confirmations that my reading of the Y stick was true. I mean, it happened the very next day, but this is just another one of them.
Now, Cindy Aldridge said, I see all this kind of stuff down at my pond all the time, little scenes that look arranged, but I doubt they're around here because she's in these parts in Missouri. I always thought they were probably fairies doing it. So there's a question. Are the fairies and Bigfoot or Sasquatch or forest people connected? Do you ever get the sense that they're around you as well?
Well, I had a mantis thing happen where I was taken to another. Believe it or not, I was just in like my own. I was just standing, doing nothing nondescript, and all of a sudden I was in another reality. So I was a mantis person, and it was unknown. It was a big knowing too, but. I feel a little weird even saying that. It sounds ridiculous, but
well, it's sort of that person in your background kind of looked a bit like a mantis person to me. That's what it looked like to me.
As far as the fairies and whatever, well, like I the Sasquatch. Well, other than this mantis thing, I've never really had any interaction with them. Although I think that they're going to be coming into the picture. I think that that's going to be happening soon. Be seeing more of them, and
because they're dimensional beings too.
No, look, now listen to this. See, there's another Brian and Sue glove, but you see the X in there? It's an X in there too. It's got the friendship welcome, Brian and Sue. Can you see that?
Yep. Awesome. That's really cool. Now, this is with you and your cat, but in the background, there's a Sasquatch.
It's not my cat, it's a dog.
Oh my God, sorry. Your little wee dog. I thought it was a cat, a tabby cat, but okay.
I don't usually backpack with cats on my.
I would do that.
People do that all the time.
I would totally do that.
So there's ones in the tree line here watching over you.
No, you see the stump?
Yes.
Go right to the left of it. Down.
This way?
Down.
Oh, there.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
There. No.
You can see the whole figure. Yeah. That guy was throwing rocks out on the trail at me too. So
yeah, that's the people say they throw rocks at you. People. Now this is these are gifts that they left you.
Let me clarify that. They don't throw rocks at me. They throw rocks to get my attention.
Okay.
Like I'll be walking along the path, and all of a sudden I see a little rock land in front of me. This is one of my most important gloves. This is a personal message for me. And it was one of those ones where sometimes when you look at them, you get an instant knowing. I had an instant knowing with this one. And what it means is there's 3 sections of the table it was on. So that means something too, you know, like steps or sections or whatever. But the bottom one is me, a single rock. The one in the middle is a Sasquatch foot. And the 4 rocks in the circle are 4 members of the clan. And the circle also means connection. Circle is connection for the Sasquatch. So what it meant is 1 walks with 4, and it's talking about my walk with them.
Very cool.
And about a week later, they left me another one. Oh, another one walked with 4 gloves. Except instead of the Sasquatch foot, they left a walking stick. But it was the same message. They had the same rocks in the circle and all that. So it's just talking about my journey with them and my walk with them, which what an honor, right? Like, wow.
It's pretty cool. So there's Susan and Brian.
Yeah.
That was obviously you.
No, I didn't do that. They did.
Oh, they did
Really?
that?
Yes.
Seriously. Oh, cool.
Yeah. And can you see the figure 8 right under it?
Mhm.
Yep.
Beside the little plant? I just noticed that too. That's another one of those things where I didn't notice it at first. So that means Susan and Brian were
And there's a
eternal.
heart here.
Mhm.
What was that?
There's a heart here.
Yeah, it means Susan and Brian were eternal beings and were connected. What happened on this one? There wasn't just one. There was 7 sets of these in a really remote area. We didn't see anybody for 3 days, and it rains there almost every day. So if something shows up in the sand there, it's got to be pretty fresh. But we were led to the exact place that we were going to, that we had gone to the year prior. And these tracks led us right directly to that place. And then there was a little rock stack there. And then they left us, you know, some stuff or whatever, berries. And it was just incredibly touching.
Well, I'm gonna leave a peanut butter sandwich by my trail cam this week. So this is one more interesting. We'd love to look at your pictures all day, but we're kind of coming to the end. So we'll talk about this one, and then we want to talk about your show and what you're doing next.
Okay.
So
I hope I didn't make a big noise. I dropped something.
It's just like I clicked off the air.
We've all dropped things before. Bang things around. We're good.
Drop the ball. Yeah.
Now, does anybody out in our audience get a message about this, or because this to me looks like the universal energy kind of symbol that I use in Reiki? It's almost it's part of the chakra, part of the master symbol. This spiral. The spiral's a sort of a universal energy symbol around the world. So,
what's interesting about this one is that was when I had my sighting about a month ago, and then they were leaving me all the glyphs and the energy and all this stuff. But quite often, I will be led to go to places that they want me to go. And so this is a really huge area, but I went off trail twice. Twice I went off trail, and each time I found amazing things like this. So
amazing.
it wasn't, you know, I was being led to these things to discover them. I think I found 3 of these. They were all a little different, but all circles with sticks and stuff.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
And you know, and the other thing is that, like, you know, you see stuff like this, and quite often you'll see like glyphs around it, footprints. You know, a lot of other evidence that they've been there that you want to look for.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a shelter that they make, or is that or is that just like something they put up for?
They make these campgrounds, and not only campgrounds, but they do them. You know, the purpose. I mean, I guess they could hide in them or whatever, but I think they just actually, you know, I think they just do it to introduce themselves to people in a non-threatening way.
Oh, okay.
And they're just kind of imitating what they see people doing in some cases. There's also energy things and stuff involved with it, but that's where Sue and I camp.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, and actually, that's where that rock, the RE rock, is just around the left hand. Yeah, right. Just right around the bend there. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute, ladies, can you see the face in the water? See the little dip?
Oh, I see it. Wow.
No, go
right there.
Right there. Yep. Yeah, go
thing?
back to where you were. There's
Oh,
two eyes, a
sorry.
nose, and a mouth right there. Yep.
Oh, right
Two
there.
eyes,
Yeah.
nose, and
Yeah.
mouth.
I
Yeah.
see. Yep. I see it.
Interesting, yeah.
There
Yeah,
you go. So
very
now
cool.
it's water too. We've seen light, we've seen trees, we've seen rocks, we see water.
There's your raven.
There's my raven friend who left me the feather, I think.
Yeah. And there's your,
Maybe.
okay, so we're back to there. And I think, yeah. So I'm going to stop sharing right now. Okay, stop screen share. There we go. So tell us a little bit about where people can find you, because you have the Pork and Bean show. And what day is that on? And that's with your friend, your Pork. That's with your friend Bean. So, when do you usually do that show?
Well, we have aliases just in case we don't want to be recognized. We do it once a week, or sometimes twice a week. It depends. There's no set time. We do it like Thursdays, Fridays, or Saturdays. But you can see the lineup when you join the show and whatever. And we've actually got Barbara Jean Lindsay, a psychic, on this week. Have you heard of her?
No, but there's lots. Barbara Jean. Have she been on your show before?
Yep.
Yes, I've seen her on your show before. That's where I've seen her. Yeah.
That was our pilot show. I didn't even actually do an edit on that one because it was just it was breaking up too bad. But yeah, she's a great lady.
We never do edits.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you get what you get. We're very
You
live.
gotta have me to do my videos for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll source you.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I think that probably my videos irritate people because they just want to see the evidence, all the stuff, and I just put a bunch of music and stuff in, and whatever.
I'm going to
So-
put some of your pictures in. I'm going to go back and put your pictures in the comments so people can get a good look at them and blow them up to get better look at them, some of them,
Yeah.
and
Look,
see what they say.
I understand when people look at some of these pictures and say I don't see anything and whatever, because I'm there too. But with these ones, I could feel that they were there, and I can see them clearly. But that's because it could be because it's for me. Because really, if they intend it for you, for some reason, it really works that way. You are able to see it, and other people may not be able to.
For sure. Well,
Which is generally what happens with me when people, I just see pareidoia or something, or I don't see anything. But
so Brian, what day is your show on? So that's what we're trying to get.
well, it's usually Thursdays, Fridays, or Saturdays. But the only way you're going to know is you have to go to join the Pork and Beans show on Facebook.
Mhm.
Okay.
And, it's an open group.
Okay.
And yeah, we got a great show. We do 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah. You get.
There's about 10 minutes of actual content in it. The rest is just all screw up.
Well, we really enjoyed having you, and I doubt I'll be there. But if you want to come to Tofino, my son's getting married out there this summer, so I only have so many WestJet points, and that's all that's where I'm going this summer. But next summer, I haven't even booked ahead, so yeah. And I'll invite my kids, and we can all meet over and camp out with you, all my kids that are on the island, and and come and
They
visit
will
you.
circle your calendar, 2022 September.
Okay. And you're in the lower, where do you usually camp? Just kind of give us the area, but you don't have to tell us the exact spot. So are you south of Vancouver?
I live in Maple Ridge.
Maple Ridge. Okay. So
it's 50 miles maybe east of Vancouver.
okay. Well, eating the mountains.
Yeah, and the place I go to is you can be a glamper or you can be a full-blown camper. It'll accommodate everybody. So
Very good. Melinda says she wants to come too. And Teresa, meet us over there. I'm going to see you in Victoria this summer. So
yeah. Sure. Anybody who's got a good heart for Sasquatch is welcome.
But they were asking if you do guided walks or anything, guided hikes, things like that, where you can take people through and do tours.
Yeah, I'm not that organized. I just like to take people out. We experience stuff. But yeah, there's lots of places you can. There's the central camp there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a group camp, but then it's a huge, area. There's I go all over the place, 4 or 5 kilometers in, and there's like big, mountain scenes with like streams. It's just like incredible. But anywhere in there, you can connect with Sasquatch.
So you heard it here. Just private message Brian, and he'll hook you up.
Yes.
Brian, Teresa, sorry.
Oh, hold on a second. Can I put a plug in for my YouTube channel?
Yeah, go for it.
Absolutely.
That's usually against my name. I don't care about plugging anything.
No, I hopefully you didn't put it in.
A channel that people want to get an idea what I'm about and get a really good idea of my pictures and stuff. I put a lot of work into it in my heart and stuff, and it's called Pork and Beans Sasquatch BC, the true story, and it's on YouTube.
Yeah, and I put a link in the information to this video, so if you go there, you can link in to Brian there as well. And Bex, you have a few questions and announcements.
I do.
Today.
So I have the
Thank
3
you, Brian.
questions. Yes. The first question is, if you had to choose a song to be the theme song of your life, what would it be?
I thought of that. It's been my favorite song for the last 3 or 4 days. But they never stay that way.
Right.
It's constantly evolving. But right now it's Starman by David Bowie.
Good song.
Good song.
I love that. Perfect. All right. So
the
next question is, what is your favorite crystal or stone right now?
Well, I've got 3 gift rocks from the Sasquatch that they gave me one a year. And that's the craziest story ever, but I don't know if we have time for that because it's like about a 10-minute story, but that would be it. Do you want me to show you them quickly?
Sure.
You see, if I was really going to do this story justice, there's also 3 glyphs that are involved in it too. There's 3 rocks and 3 glyphs and 1 person who's tied into the entire thing, which is amazing.
So you'll have to tell that on your YouTube and tell us the whole story and make a film.
The entire story is on my YouTube.
Okay.
I can't remember which one it is. I can maybe even post it in here.
That's great. That would be perfect. Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah.
Here's my
Oh my God, beautiful. That's airy.
Sorry, you can see him, right?
Yeah,
for sure. Absolutely.
Anyway, this rock when I first picked it up was completely like a river rock. It was left on a big stump, and it was like a gray river rock, and it turned completely black the next day.
Wow.
Beautiful.
And So, I'm not going to be able to do this story justice, but I'll just quickly go over it. Then the next year, I'm thanking them. 1 year later, I'm thanking them for this rock. I'm holding it up, and I'm camped out way in the bush, and they're all around me. And next day, I get up, and I heard a big whoop as I hit the trail. And as soon as I heard the whoop, like whoop, I looked down at my feet, and there was this rock. It was already black, though. And as soon as I picked it up, I heard, "You're getting a third." Mine speaks like a boy. You're getting a third. So then another year later, this lady who actually I connected into Sasquatch because with glyphs, and that's a crazy part of this story too. But like I said, if you want to hear that, I guess you have to go for the video. But she gave me this rock. She found it in a gathering we were at in Oregon. So the first 2 came from BC, but from different places. This one came from Southern Washington. I'm sorry, right before Oregon. And she was over across the road, and she picked this rock up, and she heard mine speak. "This is for Brian." And so she gave it to me, and then I knew it was my 3rd rock. And this is not going to work. But if you look at them all together, you have to look at them side by side. But they're all, it's not going to work. They're a family, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Post the link in the comments, and everybody can come back.
So anyway, about a little while later, I'm going up and down the street. You won't be able to see this, but actually, my girlfriend told me at the time when the lady handed it to me, she said, "Your name's written on the bottom of this," but I didn't really look at it until later. And I'm going down the street and going like this in the car, and what the heck? And my name, Brian, is actually written on the bottom of this rock.
That's
wow.
You won't be able to see it, but
Yeah.
But it's there, and everybody can see it who looks at it. And funny thing is that it looks like it's thousands of years old. But it doesn't look like that. You scratch it in there.
Very cool.
Yeah, that is so cool. Very special.
But if you want to hear the whole story, and then with the clip thing involved too, it's well worth checking out. I'll actually post it on the show.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah,
and if people have questions, you can post them in there, and Brian can answer you. So, Bex.
Last question is: have you ever experienced extraterrestrial intelligence?
Well, I had when I was, I guess the Sasquatch are in a sense, and I've seen the Sasquatch with UFOs, and spirit animal at the same time. So they're all connected that way. But I guess as I was a teenager, about 19, I was laying on a mattress, and my friends, I was doing rock and roll. I came back from Ontario to join a rock and roll band with this guy, so I'm crashing out in his basement. I'm just laying there and perfectly awake, and I saw a glowing outline of a figure standing at the foot of my bed. It was transparent, but it looked like fluorescent lights, almost like Christmas lights lighting up the outline. But it looked like a chalk line figure in a crime scene or whatever, except standing up, right? Because there was no substance to it. So it was just standing there, and then I looked to my left or whatever, and it was on its hands and knees beside me looking at me, and then it just disappeared.
Wow.
But I don't know what it was. But the funny thing is this is weird, because it's the same thing with my experience with the Sasquatch. Nothing seems to scare me, and I think it's because subconsciously I know them, or I know what's going on. This did not scare me at all. I just thought this figure, wow, that was neat. Just that was cool. But somebody was checking in on me early, and then because we're brought here to do stuff and whatever, right? So it wasn't my time to be fully, I wouldn't say fully awake, but be awakened to some state. But they were checking in on me, I suppose.
Yeah, they've been planting seeds all along.
Yeah. So I think that the Sasquatch and the benevolent ET, whatever, they're working to waken humanity up. Yeah. They're all pulling the rope the same way, or not all, but a lot of them, right? So
yeah.
So that to me, so Sasquatch isn't about going out and getting evidence or whatever. That's all fun, and it's great. I love it, and I love experiencing what they do, and thousands of pictures of stuff that they've done, and it's also a good teaching tool. But the real thing is the whole relationship with the Sasquatch is about them teaching you about your true nature, waking us up, because it's kind of like time that we have to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brian, so much.
So many amazing stories and connections, and just powerful stuff. Thank you for sharing that with us. And you've got a lot of people now who are very inspired to go make connections and get out there and see what they can experience. So, and also people who are ready to go check out your YouTube. They're excited for that too. So thank you for sharing that.
I don't make anything off it. My reward is opening people's hearts and letting them stay, and changing their hearts and whatever, and introducing them to the Sasquatch. So.
Yeah. And that's the key to connecting, right? Being heart-centered.
Anybody get a hold of me, I'm all good for that. So.
Excellent.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, thank you so much. I just have one more announcement, and then it is it for today. And that is the winner of last week's Share It Out, who won a session with Rhonda, and that is Kirith. Congratulations, Kirith. Rhonda will be contacting you to get that set up. And this week, if you share out, whoever shares out the most wins a session with me. So share it out, guys. And we'll see you next week. We have an awesome show next week with Alexis Buck from Ascension Diaries. She's going to be talking about the Schumann resonance, which I'm very excited for. So we will see you guys next week. Have a blessed week, everyone.
What's that?
What's that, Brian?
What's that? Is that Kiara? That's the tree lady, right?
No, Kiralani. Yeah, she's the tree lady.
Is that who you're talking about?
No,
different person. She has a workshop coming up. Kiralani has a workshop coming up this week. We'll put some links out on our page for that too, so you can go and check out her workshop. But thank you all.
You'll have to ask her when you see her again about how she's connected in with Sasquatch now.
We will. We definitely
will. Well, for
she's got a lot of connection going now too. But
great neighbor to have. So
Yes.
I'm going to take us out with our little film, and thank you very much for joining us all. Bye-bye, everyone.
My
Bye-bye.
pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.